everybody. Thanks for joining us today here to go over online scams and what to look out for and how to best protect yourself and even what to do if you are a victim of a
That's
scam.
good.
So we'll get ready. I have a nice presentation here on some pointers and what to do. So, why do we get fake emails? 97% of people cannot identify a sophisticated fake email. And people are the weakest security link in most business process. What that really means is most people, out of curiosity, will click on an email, which then can then make it spread out to other people, into even a business's main server, etc. We can secure our networks, computers, our systems, and internet access to make it more difficult to compromise information. That is very true for big businesses, for home use. I would say that your networks or your computers, just making sure that your virus protection is most recent. Your Windows or whatever platform is up to the latest update. People make decisions on emails that request action is a manual process that cannot always be controlled. And I'll get into some of those emails in a little bit. I'll even go through an example of things that scammers do and make that happen. It's easier for hackers to use people to gather information and build schemes to get what they want. Hackers are very good at trying to make you feel very comfortable, pretending to be a company that they're not. Amazon support group, support help, Norton's support help, Microsoft support help. They do a very good job of trying to pretend to be the company that they are not. So how to recognize fake emails? Again, legitimate companies do not send emails requesting sensitive information. You will not get that from a legit company. That's one way of knowing that this is a fake email. Don't trust the name in the from field of an email. If it looks suspicious, do not open the email. And I'll show you some examples of that, of how you can recognize if that name is trusted or not. Hover over links in the email to see what address the link takes to. So if you see that it's not going to the company, they say, or even, and again I have another example of that, if it shows that it's not even going to the company that it says it from, then I wouldn't click on it. That's a definitely big email. If it also makes you, however, open a new browser window and type the website address directly into the browser rather than clicking on the link. So if it tells you to type this address in, that's another pointer to know that that's probably a fake email. Most companies use secure web addresses. This is true. All your banks, financial institutions, they use secure web address, and they'll always start with HTTPS. S is for secure. So if you see in there instead that it shows just HTTP, that's another surefire way of knowing that that's, again, a fake. And that's going to take you to another website where they can gather any information they want from you. Obvious grammar or spelling errors. And that's, for some people, I mean, me, I don't know all my grammar, so I'll admit it. But some of the stuff that does come through as a bad grammar, it is noticeable, it's you can tell. Strange message structures, generic greeting, or even urgent language. Oh, to protect yourself, click here. Things of that nature written in an email. Generic closings, last statements. When in doubt, click the reply all button. When you hit the reply all button, you'll see every email address that it's supposed to go to. If it's not the company that it's supposed to go to, that's another way to tell. Don't click on email attachments. Yes, please don't. Unless you feel like calling me afterwards to do a full scan from any viruses and malware. Don't click on any attachment. And review the email signatures. Some of that will be lack of details on any contact information. So even at the bottom of the who it's from and all that contact information, if it doesn't match the sender, we know that there's an issue there too. An alarmist email, okay, this is one where we're talking about using kind of scare tactics in order to get you to click on it. So here's a fake one from QuickBooks. And it just says, "Dear user, thanks for using QuickBooks. Due to our recent EMV update, we advise all QuickBooks users to kindly confirm their merchant payments account so as to have your merchant account recognized on our updated EMV database. To avoid service disruption, kindly confirm now." And that's circled in red because that's where the tell is right there. It's using to avoid service interruption. That will not happen from a legitimate company. They are not going to just cut you off without trying to reach you in the proper way through, say, QuickBooks. When you have it open, they will send you a message, and you'll have your account information and things like that. So let's go on to our next star: grammar and spelling issues. Oftentimes, I call this one a phishing one. Message has typos, grammatical errors, or extra characters. So in there, it's the grammatical error where they're circling right now, and not using correct punctuation and or the correct there in this case. Okay, so examine hyperlinks. Hyperlinks are the things that they say click here, or anything that's highlighted on blue and you got to click on it to go to the next site. That's what they mean by hyperlinks. In this particular instance, they're showing the please click here, and the red arrow down shows at the bottom of your screen. That's where it's actually going. So you don't have to click on it to find out if you're going to the right thing or not. You just put your arrow right on the click here, and then it'll show you where it's going down below. Now in this one, it's definitely wrong. This is a Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System, which is a government institution. So, like we talked about earlier, down below it shows HTTP. If it's a government or a bank and financial institution, you're going to see the HTTPS. So that's the one that I know for a fact. That's just wrong.
Yeah.
Don't click on this. This is. Malware. What is malware? It is an abbreviation for malicious software. Malware is the software that is specifically designed to gain access or damage a computer without the knowledge of the owner. And there are several different types. I can get into all these, but the most used that we see around here usually: spyware, and a real virus, and ransomware. Ransomware are those ones that the screen pops up on your screen and you can't do a thing. It just tells you to call. This is Microsoft. You've been locked out, and it gives you the phone number to call, which doesn't go to Microsoft. So ransomware is a profitable criminal business, and its success lies in the way it develops the urgency using scare tactics. And that's what it does. It makes it very, very scary. Oh, your Microsoft license is invalid. Please call this 800 to get this rectified. Those kind of things. Or you get another ransomware. It's almost a ransomware, where it's more of a spoofing. With Amazon, you'll get an email from there saying that your account was charged X amount of dollars. Usually it's around the $400 range. You'll see. And you, of course, no, it wasn't. You go and then try to call the phone number, and I'll go into a deeper one about that in a bit. What is ransomware? Ransomware is a type of malicious software designed to block access to a computer system or mobile device until a sum of money is paid. Ransomware is also referred to as cyber extortion. Two types of ransomware. The locker. Ransomware denies access to the computer or device. That's the one where the screen comes up and you just can't do anything. You got the mouse, but it doesn't go on, it doesn't do anything, nothing, you can't click on anything. Crypto. Ransomware prevents access to files or data. The crypto one is it comes up and you actually have to buy like Bitcoin in order to pay said company to release your computer. So the reason why they want to use Bitcoin is like it's untraceable when they do it that way. Ransomware is often spread through phishing emails that contain malicious attachments or when a user unknowingly visits an infected website. That's the biggest one. When people are on unknowingly unknowingly getting a ransomware, because these guys what they'll do is they'll attach or they'll go into vulnerabilities of other companies. We'll say Facebook, for instance. Okay, so they'll get to a certain they'll go into their coding. So if they can get into their company, get into their website services, and they'll mess with the coding, so that once you click on a certain page, say you went to Facebook Marketplace, you clicked on there. Part of that coding, now that they have changed, will say, in fact, put this into their computer now, and it'll. Now you're in trouble with that, and you didn't even know that it happened.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times people will call me up and they say, I got that screen that won't let me click on anything, and it tells me to call this 800 number.
Mm.
I always ask what was the last page, what web page you were on. Were you on the web page? Were you on an email? So I'll ask those kind of questions, and they'll tell me, okay, I was on this email. I said, yes, that's a known email for these things to happen. Same thing with Facebook now. I've been getting a lot of Facebook lately in this year, mostly. A lot of Facebook ones. Recovery options from ransomware. These are things you probably want to pay a technician to do unless you're really computer savvy. But it's to restore the system or files and data from a last backup. So if you do backups of your computer, yes, you can always go back and do a file system restore on a Microsoft, on a Windows PC. With a Mac, it's usually through their Time Machine backup, which is a very nice setup as well. Or pay their ransom to receive an encryption key to unlock the files and data. That's when I was telling you about how they wanted you to pay through Bitcoin or some other type of cryptocurrency. And the second part is probably the less desirable one to do, because now that they know that you are done it once,
Yep.
they can probably attack you again and get the same results. So phishing is what we call phishing emails. It's like the Wild West, with no one holding crime accountable, and we have to defend for ourselves. Again, going through and making sure that our emails, making sure we know that they're legit, seeing what we need to see in an email, or even in just the title, to know that, okay, that's not a legit email, and making sure our virus protection and malware protection is up to date. What to do with these emails? Do not click on unknown links or attachments. If you are not sure about the email, caution on the side of not opening the email. And then this is for a business, but they're contacting their internet security officer or a member of their IT department. So what I say is, talk to another family member, because they may have seen the same email before and they know something about it that you didn't know about. And vice versa, you can do the same. Or again, a person that does computer repair or things in your area, give them a call. They usually don't charge for that. They'll tell you if it's legit or not. Fake email arrests. It only takes one compromise to get information from one person, one moment, one opportunity. So they do. As soon as they get your information, they get access to all your contacts on your email. they want. They got to context all the passwords for all your online accounts, if they wish. And that's normally what they want. But they won't stay in it. And I'll get into that a little bit more too. So here's an example of an email, and this one happens to be from Amazon. So, dear customer, we have locked your Amazon account because of our service detected.
Maybe it was 2.
Right, there's a spelling error
Yeah.
there. Detected something or unauthorized devices, okay, or on or something like that. But so it does show that there's an error here. So that's a grammatical error. We'll take a look up here. Service at support at supp@amazon.com, which that will never be a dot. There won't be a SUPP dot. It's always Amazon. Everything they've got is Amazon.com. It's straight from Amazon. So then you have the extension of it, no reply, and then this is a bunch of junk.com. That would still say Amazon.com in here. Okay, so down here we have another issue here with the spelling. Registered is not spelled. So we got those things to look out for, and then verify my account. So that's again a hyperlink. So if you did put your error on there, you would see where it's going to lead you to. Here's example number 2. Another Amazon one, different type of format. Again, this one's actually trying to pretend to be Amazon Canada. And dear client. So it's trying to do a generic, non-personalized greeting. If it was your actual Amazon account, they would refer to your name because they know your information. So that's another way of knowing scammers. They use generic titles. To confirm your identity with us, click the link below. Again, hovering over that gives us, it's going to a redirector. It even says it. HTTP redirect. So a redirector just takes you to the site that they want you to go to. And it could be a disguised site. It almost looks like Amazon. But it's taking you to a page where you have to, quote unquote, verify your information. So when you put your information into those fields and okay it, now they have your information. So anytime a redirector, that's another big one to look out for. Example number 3, I got one from Capital One. A breach alert. Urgency, right after that, breach alert. Now, they won't reach out to you with email with that. If they have your phone number, they're going to call you or give you that text message straight from them. And you'll know the text message because you'll recognize it's a legitimate phone number. And if you're not sure about the phone number, one thing you can do is you can take the phone number, go to Google, type the phone number in Google, and hit search. It'll bring up what company that belongs to. So the reason why I can tell right away, breach alert, plus Capital One, it shows Capital One at update/win.com. Not a fake email, but it's an email that's going somewhere else. Bank of America is another one that people get. Same thing. Here, and this one thing that's different about this is we got the 2 undisclosed recipients. It's another good way to tell that this is a fake email. And you can, because you have undisclosed recipients, you know that's not just coming to you. They're doing it to multiple people at one time. So that's a spamming type email as well. So then, as you can see down here in the body, even the texts are different fonts, different size. Please sign in space 2 instead of into, which should be one word, into. So there's again, and then again, click, put your arrow with the Bank of America hyperlink there. And that one goes to bit.do/letters, and it will take you again to probably another one of those type of sites that just tries to get your information.
Mm.
Or it automatically installs a virus on your computer. Here's an example of a text email, well, text mail, that is definitely a scam. First thing is the JB store. If we see that and we see the name of the company down below, they don't really match. There's a space between the JB and store further down. Now, if it was legit, it would be all one word. Lottery. Another sure sign that that is a scam. Legitimate business don't write lottery. They will have giveaways, whenever of a giveaway, but they will never have lottery. Lottery is not something that businesses practice. Not to mention it's illegal if you don't have a proper documentation and stuff to be somebody that can do lotteries. So again, here's the click on what you want. It's got the link, and it goes to, again, not even a legitimate company. It doesn't have anything to do with JB Store. Text number 2. Hello, Olivia. Your FedEx package with tracking code is waiting for you to set delivery preferences. Again, well, two things. The FedEx code that they're showing there is not a legitimate code. FedEx codes are, I believe, 13 digits long. And it's all one number. There's no hyphens. And then preferences, again, the information here, this is going to a site for info. And they're trying to grab your info. And a USPS text message. Final notification about your USPS shipment, and there is a shipment number there from such and such a date, and then go to the, again, an info site. And again, you can even take these numbers, like even USPS and FedEx, you can go to the FedEx website, type those into the track your package, take that number, type it in, guarantee even if it's legit, it might have been a package number that went to somebody somewhere else, and they just pulled the number. Okay, let me go on to my other slides here to show you some telephone scams. Anybody have any questions at all right now as far as what you're seeing, what the...
On the like phishing email type thing, does it matter if you open it, if you don't open an attachment? Like, can they track that you opened it before you deleted it, and does that
No,
matter?
the only way they could track that is if they put a flag on it to say, like, especially like company emails back and forth, if you put a flag on it to say, give me a notice that this person opened this email. So most of the time they're not going to do that. It's only because they want to take your curiosity. They're working off your curiosity more than anything else to click on that link or that attachment. Telephone scams. Well, here's a few different types of telephone scams that we get. Travel packages, which are vacation packages, free or low cost vacation packages, can be costing a bundle and hidden costs. Some of these vacations don't even take place. So in other words, there's not even a legit vacation attached to this scam. Credit and loans, advanced fee loans, payday loans, credit card protection, and offers to lower your credit card interest rates. Very, very popular, especially during a down economy. People are using more credit cards, so yes, want to get a lower rate right now.
Mm.
It sounds attractive, but they're just getting more payments from you to do something that they're not even going to do. Sham or exaggerated business and investment opportunities. Promoters of these have made millions of dollars. Scammers rely on the fact that businesses and investing can be complicated and that most people don't research the investment. It can be anything from, get on the latest Bitcoin thing or cryptocurrency that people, and that is coming. It is legit. And cryptocurrency is probably going to be much bigger here in the next 5 years. So, but they're going to try and play on people there to try and get you into it and so on, and again, get you to make an account that is not legit for any reason. Charitable causes. Oh boy, this is a good one. Urgent requests for recent disaster relief efforts are especially common on the phone. The biggest one that I've had this year on this particular thing, multiple different frauds for trying to do charity for the Ukraine.
Yeah.
Anytime you see anything going on in the news that could possibly be used as a charity, somebody's making up a scam for it. High stakes foreign lotteries. Here we go. These pitches are against the law. True. Which prohibits the cross-border sale or purchase of lottery tickets by phone or mail. What's more, you may never see a ticket. Now, I can go into a little more on that foreign lottery too. Even another example, even in an email. Dear sir or ma'am, you have been picked. You have won our lottery of, say, $120 million. Right? Everybody would like that. I would like that, for sure. But then, as you get into it and you call call now to redeem this, your winnings, you get on the line with them and they'll talk to you and then they'll say, well, in order for you to redeem the $120 million, you have to send us $3,000 in order to claim your prize. And then if you came back and said, well, I don't have $3,000, well, how about you send us $1,500 and then we'll release it to you. Or we'll make the difference out of the $120 million and send you the remainder. Many, many different ways for them to try to react and so on. Extended car warranties. We all know about those telephones. And I'm pretty sure everybody here probably just hangs up the phone when they start saying it's their auto. So I don't need to explain any more on that. Free trial offers. These are good ones too. These have been around for a long time. It's not just from telephone scams. I mean, they do this everywhere. I mean, you do try a free trial on a product, right? And they often say, well, we'll put your credit card on file here, in order to send you the product, right? It's just going to be used for shipping and handling. But in the fine print, it's always after 14 or 30 days, say, if you haven't gone in and canceled your account, now we'll start sending you this product in bulk at an exaggerated amount of money per month. And it happens. It happens. One of the ones that comes to mind real quickly was back when everybody was getting on the whole teeth whitening things, and that was probably a good 15 years ago when I first started. Get your teeth whitening kit, and they give you all the, and it is legit. It does work, but however they went in and also did the same tactic. We'll give you the first one for a reduced cost, just cover the shipping and handling, and we'll send you that. They don't ever mention about, unless you have to click on it and read through the fine print, yes, you have to cancel your account and not to get charged again and again and again. Whether or not you get the product or not at that point. Okay, so a couple YouTube links you could watch. Don't say yes to a scam. And for students, I didn't know if we had any college students that might come in or stuff like that, but having their Visa student cards canceled, those kind of scams. But those are a couple sites there with YouTube videos that will help out with you there. Okay, so the next, probably the last one I'm trying to explain through is the Irs Imposters. And yes, this is not fun, trying to deal with these people. So IRS will not call to demand immediate payment, nor call about taxes owed without first having mailed you a bill. And when they do mail you a bill, it's always come certified mail. They won't ever send anything just priority mail. So demand that you pay taxes without giving you the opportunity to question or appeal the amount they say you owe. Never going to get that from my IRS. Would not say that to you. or demand, again, it's that threatening thing where it kind of lets you know that that's a scammer. Require you to use a specific payment method for your taxes, such as a prepaid debit card, a money order, a say a MoneyGram or Western Union. They'll always be very specific how they want you to pay. Ask for credit or debit card numbers over the phone. IRS will never do that. Threaten to bring in local police or other law enforcement groups to have you arrested for not paying. And that is true. I've heard these recordings before, or those. And, you can find a lot of this on YouTube actually. Just type in scams and you can hear different types of scams. And they really do that. They will tell you, I'm trying to help you, and that's what they'll say. But yet, it's not. They will never threaten you with the police coming.
We got a call here actually for the library, and because of all this, I was very skeptical of it. But it ended up being real IRS agents.
Yeah.
I was very skeptical just because I know that they do this, and I had to get their numbers and everything, and then I went on and checked it out, and then I called the IRS back,
right,
just because I know 99% of the time it is something like
exactly.
this.
If they give you a legit phone number, like I said, that you can just type it. Like I always do it. Anyway. I type it into Google and search. Sure enough, it's IRS. Yeah. Okay, measures you can take to avoid fraud. Do online searches. Any reviews of, say, a company that's trying to sell stuff. Facebook's is notorious for that too. You get those as you're scrolling. And if you count on Facebook, I think it's like every 5 posts is an advertisement. They use an algorithm. But it's a way of repetitiveness at a timed interval, really, because you're going through 5 different posts. Okay, I'm scrolling for those, and there's my app. There's my net ad. So, yes, do online research, reviews, any complaints, scams, or IRS calls. Just do a research on it. Through Google search. It'll bring stuff up. Don't believe your caller ID. Scammers are able to manipulate the number reported. Don't pay up front for a promise. Consider how you pay. Again, if they're asking for a prepaid Visa card or a MoneyGram, anything of those things. And always hang up on a robocall. Where you rings, you answer, 5 seconds go by, and then finally somebody starts talking.
That's what you
That's what I consider a robocall, yes.
I had a hard time with those when I worked at Thayer Parkway because I had to wait, and I'm waiting for the robocall, and I'm saying, it's like, okay, that's what this is, but I can't hang up. It might be a tenant who really can't quite hear me. So I say, hello, hello, hello. Oh, is that you, Suzanne? And I'm like, okay, this one was a legitimate
Right,
call.
it's a little bit different there. But you know who you're calling at that point.
At that, I didn't have caller ID. They were calling me.
They're calling you.
Okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
So once in a while I'd get caught. It's like, oh, I was, oh no, sorry, I'm not interested.
Exactly. Measures you can take to avoid fraud. And this is the Federal Trade Commission, which I do have some handouts for you all. Bureau of Consumer Protection, and basically they really do go through and help you out if you've been caught in a scam. They'll do what they can to help you out with whatever it was, and they want to take the information too. Like, there's a questionnaire too, like how did you get, what kind of scam was it? Was it an email scam, a text scam,
That's good.
etc. And again, I have all that information right here. So remember, scammers will often try to rush you into a decision, offering you a limited but very attractive opportunity. That is the biggest thing. They want to, I can do it now, I can get this for you, this or if your computer's locked up, you need that. Again, it's a scare tactic. You got to get this cleared up as quickly as possible. IRS issues, you want that cleared up as soon as you want. I mean, they're using scare tactics to make you commit to something. Even if you're worried about it, if you're not even sure, you should be. Again, that's when I say get a hold of another friend or relative that you trust and say, hey, what do you think of this? Normally they'll say the same thing. I think it's bogus. Protect yourself. Be wary of messages or emails asking for passwords or other personal information. Most reputable businesses and organizations will not ask for this information via an email. Never send passwords, bank account numbers, or other private information in an email. Do not reply to requests for this information. Verify by contacting the company or individual, but do not use the contact information included in the message. So if it's something from trying to pretend it's Amazon or even trying to pretend to be your bank, call your bank. Give them a call. Since some scams are so well organized and convincing, and people behind them so difficult to catch, we need to always keep our guard up. But it's harder for people that have been retired, because you came from a time where, grew up in a time where neighborhood always looked out for each other.
Right.
And things, and so your trust is always, is there. Nowadays, it's not so much, and unfortunately, they do attack retirees, widows, and widowers the most when it comes to these things. Yeah. And that's where my heart gets torn out of my chest when I get to the point where I'm trying to help fix the aftermath of the tornado that you just been through. But that's what fuels me to want to do this even more and get more detail into it, because I do want to help. I legitimately want to help. And you hear those words from me, and do you trust that I'm being legit about me saying I want to help?
Yeah.
Okay, so the same words that you just heard from me
Exactly.
are the same words that scammers use to you when you get on the phone.
That's right.
So how can you tell if they're being legit or not? And these things here, checking the sources, the phone numbers that they're using, that you have to call, and so on, making sure that the email that it came in, making sure it's a legit email. That's how you know. That's how you can get away from those things. And again, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Probably is. So those are presentation on how a lot of the scams going on, things you need to do to protect yourself, and some of those things are definitely covered in these, and you're definitely welcome to have someone have these. And there's actually a link to the web address back here, but it's just a pamphlet on how to avoid scams. Gives you 4 different bullet points here and some information on different areas. Any other questions at this point right now? Yes.
Do you recommend doing the 2-step authentication, for different things, whether it's your bank account or credit cards and stuff like that, that extra layer of protection.
Yeah,
Even though it's kind of a pain in the butt sometimes to always have to do
two-stage
that.
verification, which is happening a lot now. A lot of
Yeah.
companies have been changing a lot. Even Google Gmails,
Yeah.
they stepped it up this year.
Yes.
Starting at the beginning of this year. Boy, was that a pain in the butt for
Oh,
a lot of
absolutely.
people using
Yeah.
like
Always gotta
Outlook in
have
order
it.
to look at their Gmails.
Yeah.
Don't even start me there. It is- that's one that makes it difficult for me as a technician to have. Now, how do I get these emails to work on the platforms that the customer
Yes.
is used to? But yes, two-factor authorization is great.
What do you mean by that?
So, before you can use anything through, so say first thing is like if it's a PayPal. You log into PayPal with your username and password, but then it'll come up and say, okay, what is your, say, 4-digit PIN code or something like that behind it. That way, you know, it knows for a fact that that's who you are. Or even the fact that if you try to log in on a computer that you don't use, it'll try to send an email to you, the email that's attached to that account, for you to verify that, yeah, it was me.
Mhm.
So, you know, those are just extra steps, and the reason why they do that is most of these scammers and stuff like that, especially if they've gotten your information, if they have to work at it to get into your accounts and stuff, they don't want to bother with that.
Yeah.
They're gonna move on to the next one that has an more open account to get into. So that's why you don't really see these guys really bombarding too many businesses, because there's a lot less businesses. I mean, they will attack them. Don't get me wrong. They want the big cash out. They want bragging rights, right? But yet, the majority of them are gonna attack everyday people because there's a lot more residential accounts. Personal bank accounts to deal with, or personal credit cards. So they're going to attack all those first. Any other?
My question's a little different. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency are terms I hear, but actually I have no idea what it really is.
It's a form of, it's a bar, you know, not really barter.
So is it sort of like a credit card, but it's in a different form, or what?
Pretty much. You get, basically, you buy into money.
Okay.
So you're changing your money into a digital currency.
Okay.
Okay, so
So
like everything else is here, is like we're getting further and further away from paper
Mm-hmm.
and coins. We're getting further and further and further away from that. So just like when you do a transaction through, you know, online, it just goes through your credit card or through your bank account that you have attached to it. So Bitcoin has its own way of doing it too.
So I could
same idea.
pay like
You have an
$200
account.
and I get 200 Bitcoins or something?
Hmm.
Okay.
And then you can use those to pay for goods
All
and
right.
services as well.
Well, thank you.
But the thing is, it's more universal.
Okay.
So there's no, what's the Canadian exchange rate again, and all
Oh.
that stuff. That doesn't exist
Uh-huh.
for cryptocurrency. So in a nutshell, that's really
Right,
what
well,
it is.
thank
It,
you. I
it
mean,
gets more
that's-
complicated than that, but in a nutshell, that's
Yeah.
what it is.
It's not just a plastic toy that you buy at the store.
No.
That's what it sounds like to me, you know. But I know
But,
it's money
uh,
represented.
They're trying to make it more. They're trying to make it more secure, really, with those accounts and stuff. And there's supposed to be a higher encryption rate ways and stuff like that with
Mhm.
those. But we'll see. We'll see how far it goes here in the next few years. I just remember from 10 years ago, trying to start crawling in, and it was
It's
yeah. Then and right now it's kind of volatile with the economy, the way things are going on with the economy.
mhm.
So you really have to pay attention to it. I know a lot of people that have been doing investing into those types of payments have actually pulled those assets out and have started buying tangible like gold and silver and things to
Yeah.
because they just don't know where the economy's going. Okay, any other quick
I wanted
questions?
to ask about, I use a password manager, an app on my phone.
Yeah,
Do you have any thoughts about those in terms of security, or do you?
yeah,
think
the
any-
Robo one is real good.
Robo, oh,
Yeah.
okay, that's one of the.
Basically, you know how if you go onto your computer there and they'll ask you if you want to save your password after the first time you put it in
Yeah.
there? Well, it'll do it. I mean, like, especially like Google and Edge and Firefox, they all will save it for you. And that helps me actually, because if you ever forget your password and stuff, I can go help you get into it, get into it and find it for you there. But these, when hackers go into it, they know what I know.
Right.
So they're going to go in the same direction I do to get your information. Okay, but with the Robo ones, it's an app. It's an app that you put on there, and it's an encrypted app. So once you, what I mean by encrypted is it just puts it into a format that they can't easily open up and look at. So you have your account, you go to Amazon, it saves your username and password for Amazon, you go to Facebook, and you tell it which ones you want it to save or if you don't want it to save it. So no matter where you are, even if you're on a different computer, you just can log into your Robo account, all your passwords are there. So again, they're a good company. I've seen a few of those used, mostly with Apple. I haven't seen too many on the Android devices, but definitely Apple phones and some of the iPhones. So there's another person that I do follow on YouTube, which he's kind of humorous because he's on the defense lines that I want to get on. All right, in other words, he's part of a company that goes through and he'll actually call those fake numbers that go to India. And he is a hacker himself,
Okay.
but he's an ethical hacker.
Right.
Okay, he'll go in and he'll actually go in and wipe out their computers.
Oh.
He'll mess them all up. His name's
Wow.
Pierogi, and if you ever get on YouTube, look him up. It's Scammer Payback is the name of his YouTube site. He has all kinds of gadgets in his arsenal. He'll even use a microphone, talk through it, and he's probably like a 30-year-old guy, but when it comes through the microphone, he sounds like an 85-year-old man.
Oh.
Or woman. He can manipulate it around. So when he calls, they can't track him all the time with it. But
Good.
he goes through their computers, he finds out what their real names are. So when you call, the 800 number and it goes to India and the guy has, they'll tell you, my name's John Smith.
Yeah.
No, your name's not John Smith. Your name is probably Mohammed something or other.
Yeah.
Right? So he'll call them by their first name, and they have no clue how he even knows. But it's entertaining to watch. But he does give some good information as well, and that's what they do. They want to make sure that he knows exactly what building, what floor they're on, and what building number they're in.
Whoa.
So, yeah, he does a very good job. Their whole team does.
You said it's on YouTube?
Yep, it's on YouTube. It's called Scammer Payback.
So if he's one of the nice ones, one of the bad ones that calls can figure that out about you. She's
Right.
in the library, she's in the front.
Oh yeah, because he gets in. I mean, when he hacks into he'll hack into their server and get onto their security camera system.
Oh, wow.
So he knows. He has a picture of the person that's talking to him right at the same time, live feed. But that's the kind of stuff that I know that we can, and he doesn't hold grudges with them. He knows that in India this is a way of life for them.
Mm-hmm.
Just like what we do on a normal basis here on our daily lives, right? So in India they don't consider the word scammer as a bad word, as a bad thing. They use it as a badge of honor. They really do. There's bragging rights to who gets the most scams in a month, year,
Oh.
and so on. And again, to them, they don't worry about it. So,
They're safe from us, right?
yeah. So one of the ones that comes to mind that he did when he called them, he has a fake bank account thing that comes up, and when they ask him to go into his bank account to verify stuff. So the original scam was that there was an email. Am I running out of time here? Okay. Email came up and it said, this was such and such a company. We charged your account, $400, and if this wasn't you, please call this 800 number to get your refund. So it could be anything like like a Norton subscription got redone for the next year, an email like that or something like that. So he called the 800 number, gets onto the phone call with the first one there, and he says, yes, this is so-and-so, and he's got the microphone disguising his voice. And he says, this is the email that I got. It says I was charged $400, and I'd like to get a refund for that because it wasn't me. And immediately the person on the other line is very, very nice, sympathetic, understanding. He said, yes, I understand that this wasn't you. Let's see what we can do. We'll take care of this now so that you don't have to worry about this anymore. So then they ask for you to allow them on your computer. They'll say, download. You go to this website, click on the download, and it's really a software that just allows them to take over your screen. So, of course, you can let him in there because he knows. So you let him in there, and they said, go to your bank account. He goes into his bank account, shows it on the screen, and it shows that there was legitimate $400 taken out, right? So then they say, okay, we're going to work on it. Now, before it showed the $400 though, as soon as he went to log into his account, the hacker on the other side blocks the screen out. You can't see anything going on. Okay? You can't see a thing. It's almost like your computer just went into sleep mode when the screen goes black. Okay, so same thing, same scenario. So then he said, don't worry about it. I'm just making a couple adjustments, and then pretending to be a real technician. And they're not. These guys on the other side are not technicians. Okay, so a few seconds later it comes up. Yes, his bank account's there, and it shows a debit of $400 to whatever company it said that it was taken from. Okay. So they said, okay, we see the error. We're gonna work on it now. While he also had the screen closed, he went into the how the screen looks. He went into coding of that. Brings up another app, looks like an app, and it's just there to it's a claim, like a online claim form. All right, so you put in how much it was, tell them how much it was that was done, taken out and stuff. This is what I'm claiming for, et cetera, et cetera. And then he tells you not to click the OK button to submit it. So then he goes ahead and he lets legitimate, okay, everything looks good. I'll click on it now for you. When he clicks on it, he comes back on the phone and says, oh my goodness, we made a mistake. Something happened here. Instead of refunding you the $400, I actually refunded you $4,000. In that time frame, he's also making the changes of that bank account that you're seeing on your screen, showing that he put $4,000 in pending, coming back to you. He says now he's going to work on your sympathy. He says, I'm going to get fired for this. This is my only job. I have a family. I have 3 small children. The whole 9 yards to get your sympathy. And he says, well, how can we fix this? Can you get to, do you have a pharmacy nearby where you can get, or the bank, can you go to your bank and get the money and mail it to me, etc. Go to the bank, get a bank check, whatever it is. And people fall for it. So, what he does, how we can put that, even if he went straight to your regular bank and did it, he looks at how much you have in the account. Okay, so if you had $6,000 in your checking or savings account at that time. And that $400 was the refund. He knows legitimately he can just put it in for $4,000 because it's not going to go over. It's not past that threshold of $6,000 you have in your account. So he knows that you can go to your bank account and make a check for $4,000. That's how they do it.
Horrible.
They can even convince you so bad that it's Microsoft and your license needs to be renewed every year for Windows to work. There was one instance where, yeah, he had a legitimate lady in California on a monthly basis sending him $200. She's been doing it for 5 years.
Oh.
That's the stuff that angers me. I'll use that as a word. It angers me. So, yeah, just to give you some examples of things that do happen, and don't feel like you are foolish to fall for these, because they do sound so legit. They really do. They make you feel so comfortable, so like they really want to help you, that they're really there to help you out. So yeah, don't ever feel horrible about, how did I let this happen? How did I fall for this? It happens to so many people in the daily and hourly cycles. So,
You said that it really has been happening in this area.
it has, and I've seen a lot more of it lately with, some of the emails. But like I said, this year alone, just doing stuff on Facebook, and then you click on even an advertisement or something that comes by, and all of a sudden now you pop up there and your screen's locked out and it tells you need to call this 800 number. It's from Microsoft. There's a problem with your account, etc., etc. But that's what I've seen lately. And like I said, these hackers, they will try their best to get into all the big companies and things like that. Even your bank accounts, just your bank website. Not necessarily, they don't even want to get into your account at that point. They just want to compromise their website and get it so that pop-up thing comes up, so you have to call the 800 number.
But it's scary in terms of their access to your checking account, your savings account.
What happens then is, they get into it the first time, but as we know, we go into our banks, we change our bank account, close the bank account, and open up a new one, etc. New passwords, the whole 9 yards. Yes, it's a pain in the butt for us because now we have to go through every online shopping that we do, change what account number or card number, debit card number that was attached to, or even if you did utilities and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's a pain in the butt for us. But they're not in there to keep checking in every day on you. Some do, some have the time to do it. The majority of them, they will move on. Once they've got your account information, they know now to move on. And again, they just want to get the easiest heist.
Going off of that, how effective do you think having to change your password is? Like every so often? Because I've always thought that, they do, it is mostly just a one-time thing, so.
Right. Like using the Robo password saver is a lot safer. Just don't use the Microsoft, the one that comes with Microsoft Edge or in the Google. Don't save them there. Use one of those, and you won't have to mess with your passwords like that. The only password you'll have to mess with is every 90 days changing your password to the Robo. That's it. But as far as your regular passwords, everybody says, like a 90-day kind of deal. Go in and change your passwords. But making sure you don't click on those emails and links like that will save you a lot of headache on that side. If we can stop it at the source that we accidentally, unknowingly let in, then we're better off that way. It's really there's no surefire way to stop these things. I wish there was.
Yeah. Mm.
Other than flying over there and giving knocking on their door. Yeah.
Well, thank you, it was very informative.
No, thank you guys for
Really.
calling. Like I said, this is my first time around with this, and I know there's going to be some new stuff coming in the next after this year because it's always changing. It's always changing. There's always new scams out there to be aware of.
Yeah.
And now that they're getting, even the scammers are getting wise to some of the things that we're trying to do to stop
Right.
it. So they're getting different ways to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
So
What
once
do you do to fix it for us?
Well, like I said, I'm kind of like the damage control after the fact. So I go through and make sure that you have a legitimate virus protection on there, malware scanner and stuff on your computers to make sure that, you know, because that's what they do. They like to print malicious software. They try to install those or have them dormant on your computer, and they'll activate and randomly and send information through. So, or even use your own computer to send more of those same scam emails out to everybody else. That's how come a lot of those email
Okay.
addresses don't belong to the actual company,
Yeah.
because that malware has gone into your computer, and now it's running emails in the background. You can't see it, but it's just
Just running.
sending them out randomly using your email account.
Yeah.
So like I said, the legitimate way, the only real way is just be aware of how to tell that's a scamming
Mhm.
email.
Right.
Well,
Okay.
and publicize it, you know, that I know there's been articles in the newspaper or, you know, letting other people know that, the one with your grandson in jail,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
who needs
Boy.
money for bail.
Those are terrible.
They are.
Yeah.
Yes, and again, it's another one of those predatory ones where they're trying to work off your sympathy. They're trying to work off your knowledge. You know,
Love,
yeah,
yeah.
they're real. They're just, yeah.
It's awful.
The terrible. It's just terrible how they do
Yeah.
those things. It really is, and
It's one of the things on Facebook. Some of those things are fun to do, like how many states have you been in, and things like that. It's like, wait
Yeah.
a minute, I don't want to put my information out there.
some of those are some of those are fun. You're right.
Some are
And there
fun,
there
but
are
then
some
it's
other
like-
ones that
It's like, wait.
Get really
they don't need to know what town I was born
Right.
in, or they don't need to
They
know
don't-
Your mother's
what
name
town I'm
was,
living in
and
now.
What's the maiden
what your
name?
maiden name
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah, it's
okay.
those ones that you gotta watch out for. You know, like I said, they try to make it look so fun and entertaining, but in the background,
You don't really know. Is
they're
this
crooks.
fun and
This
entertaining?
is just,
yeah.
I call them bank robbers, but now they're doing it through the internet.
Right.
That's really what it is. They don't care about who's in the bank. They just want the money.
That's it.
They don't care whose computer it is. They just want your money.
That's all. That's it.
Do you find there's a big difference between like a VAS or any of those security things between the free version and upgrading to the paid version?
The paid versions usually give you some more scanning tools and some more shields really to use. Your free versions are usually just your basic virus protection, malware protection, that kind of thing. But when you go into deeper scans and things like that, it's usually a pro version type thing at that point. So for just fighting with just emails and viruses, the free stuff is usually good. Now, saying to add to that, don't do more than one virus protection on your computer. You start getting more than one virus protection on your computer, then they're all starting to fight try to do the same thing, and it'll slow your computer way down. Because each one of those programs is trying to do the exact same thing.
Can I tell you something that's a little amusing to me? My daughter bought me my iPhone, and she put my information in, and she put in my birth date wrong. It's like, she put in October something, and she made me 28 years old. And she said, Mom, this is going to protect you. And I'm thinking, okay. But every time Facebook comes around in October, you know, all my friends send me, happy birthday, Mary. You know, I hope you had a great day. And I think, I always say yes, because I don't want to.
Right. You're going to blow.
Thank you.
That's funny.
I don't know how good that would be for any hacker, but
It may save you from a hacker because now they know you're at a younger age. You're not as
Right,
you're not as easy to get.
That's
you know,
right.
you don't go to the top of their list.
That's right. Good point.
But also, if they were gonna use the information, it wouldn't match. Like,
Right.
Because
If
if
they
they
try
went
to
to your
use that
bank
information, it's
account,
not gonna
your
work.
name and that date of birth won't
That's right.
match, and so it won't let them into the bank account. So if they're not just doing it to send to emails to other people, if they're doing it to actually make use of
Try
your
to
information,
create.
they can't, because it won't
Yeah.
work at the institutions that know the accurate part.
so I've got a smart kid, huh?
I'd say so.
By accident, right?
That's great.
A lot of this, one way I heard it is, it's like when you're running from a bear. You don't have to be the fastest person. You just have to not be the slowest person.
Right.
They're going to go after the person with the least amount of
That's
protection.
Good
that,
analogy.
that like,
Yeah.
you know, is doing absolutely nothing. So sometimes doing anything makes you not the slowest person.
That's good.
Yeah. So every little bit helps.
Yeah.
That's great, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, absolutely. These are for you to have. They
Great.
definitely